Hello and welcome to the June 11th edition of the SIG Contributor Experience bi-weekly US focused meeting. This meeting is under the code of conduct of the Kubernetes project, which basically in short means be nice and excellent to your fellow attendees and speakers. I am Mario. I'm one of the co-chairs for SIG ContribEx. And if you are new to this meeting or you want to reintroduce yourself, you're welcome to do so. I will do this now. So hi, I'm Mario. I am, as mentioned, co-chair for this special interest group of the Kubernetes project. I work for Kubernetes. I'm also involved in SIG Infra. SIG Infra is the word that I'm missing, and pronouns are he, him. And please put yourself in the attendee list of the meeting document that I am now sharing in the chat. Thank you. And we are looking for a note taker.
All the things.
If anyone wants to take notes. It is a group effort, so you not need to feel that you need to capture everything.
I'll take notes. I'm
That's
gonna do it
great.
anyway.
All right. Anyone else want to introduce themselves? This is optional, so you don't have to.
I'll introduce myself. Hello, everyone. I am Contributor Experience. I'll fix that in a minute. I am Caslin Fields, and I am one of the co-chairs of the Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience, also a co-lead of the Contributor Comms sub-project. I'm excited to be here and to share updates from the areas that I'm involved with during this meeting. My pronouns are she, her, which is in the doc.
Hey folks, I'm Chris Short, the tall one. I am currently working at a company called CIQ. We do stuff for Rocky Linux and HPC. Been in the community a long time. Pretty much know who to talk to about whatever thing you might be working on, or know where to point you at the very least. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And pronouns are he, him.
My name is Ludo. I've been here one time before. Hi. Before I forget, I don't have editing rights, so if someone could put my name in the list, thank you.
Yes.
I am one of the people working on the tests for Electo. So that's why I'm here. And my pronouns are he, him.
All right. Anyone else? If not, we can continue.
Yeah. Hi, this is Jay here. I'm recently started contributing to Kubernetes docs, so working pretty extensively for the SIG contribution, and also very active in the contribution language.
Thank you and welcome. Kesseln, I muted you because you typed loud. First topic is events. Maintainer Summit updates. And also a request that came up yesterday in the team lead meeting. So Maintainer Summit. CFP for Maintainer Summit is still open. Anyone who wants to present the topic there is welcome. There was also a call for reviewers. This was shared in the Contributor Summit channel. Yes, we shared it in the Contributor Summit channel. Ha! No, we didn't. We didn't share the link in the Contributor Summit channel. I will find it and put it in notes doc. So we are looking for folks to review talks. Beside this, registration will open at some point this month for Maintainer Summit. I don't have a date. And the other thing that is going to happen are awards. There's currently voting for the chairs and tech leads. Where we do want to have the awards. And sorry, my dogs are barking. And I think it's currently also looking that we stay within the US. So which means that we would need to give me a second. Which would mean that we need to start the awards process rather sooner than later. Yeah. And there was the request for let me look it up. Meet and greet for the for KubeCon North America. Yeah.
So I'm in the Summit staff channel. Is it the latest note there from Monday? Is that what you're talking about?
No, there was a request in the ContribEx League channel for which apparently was brought up in the yesterday's chair meeting. Keslin, maybe you know a bit more about this. You're muted.
Yes. Could you say that again?
Something apparently yesterday came something up in the chairs meeting regarding meet and greet for North America.
And we didn't talk much about the meet and greet. We talked mainly about the location, potential for a location change for the awards. Spent a lot of time on that. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, for the meet and greet, we also need to plan something.
Yeah, this is the first that I have thought about that, and that is important. I have led that in the past. So traditionally, the meet and greet is held during lunchtime during one of the days of KubeCon, and it's an opportunity for current active contributors in the Kubernetes project to meet with attendees. So normally, ideally, we have a space carved out just for us at lunch where we have signs on the table saying which special interest group is sitting at which table, and there may be multiple. So contributors who attend the meet and greet will sit at the table that represents the SIG that they want to represent that day if they have multiple. And ideally, attendees will come by and just chat with us about what our work is like in the open source community. So organizing that requires some interaction with the CNCF to make sure that they have all of the materials that they need for that. They should have all of the table bits already. They should also have pins. So anyone who comes to the table should be able to get a little CAN badge pin that says the SIG name that they met with. And members of that SIG can get one of those. And we should make sure that the CNCF is accounting for the number of people that this will be. We've had issues in the past with having rooms that are too small. A lot of contributors usually end up participating in these meet and greets, and ideally we want to have plenty of room for attendees to get there too. And also ideally it should be in a place that is easy to find and accessible for attendees to get there. So just working with the CNCF to make sure that those considerations are accounted for as the event is planned.
Cool.
Does that sound like useful overview? So we're looking for a lead for that. Is that the case, Mario?
I think it's general planning. So what I will take with me is how do we do meet and greet? because some folks said like hand in the ContribFest session and stuff like this, or so this is something that I will clarify.
Honestly, it's traditionally very low lift on the contributor side. It's just like reminding them how many people there are going to be, making sure that we have all of the SIGs represented as table signs, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I just want to make sure that CNCF is still
yeah.
Planning on CNCF side still stays the same. Let's put it this way.
Agreed.
So I will check this and hopefully get back to you soonish.
Oh, I'll mute myself again.
Who ran it last time? Do we know? Remember?
Ray, I think.
Ray Lejano.
Yeah.
Got it.
The problem usually is, or the problem is for me that if it is on the second day, I have a conflict at lunchtime because governing board meetings haven't happened on the second day.
Oh, of course.
Usually. Yeah, so I will clarify when and how and if we need what we need to plan, and then we can basically make a call for help regarding this. And let's check quickly the where we are with the award topic. Give me a second. Award. So we didn't receive any new answer to the questionnaire, and 31% of the answers, which is the majority, said North America Maintainer Summit. So I think we keep the awards there.
The Maintainer Summit?
The question was if we want to have the awards in Europe, in North America, or online. And currently, most of the leads said North America.
Interesting. I mean, it is later in the year, but not as many people come to North America these days either. So
that's why we did the questionnaire for the leads,
right,
to determine what they want to do this year.
To
but the
recap
majority
a couple
is still for US.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, to recap a couple points on that we discussed yesterday. A lot of the leads that were in the meeting yesterday, at least, did see the online option very favorably, understandably. It's not like we even give out the physical awards in person anymore. A lot of folks can attend the events in person. The downsides of not having an in-person one, though, are that one, it's hard to get leads to respond to anything to begin with, and having a hard deadline like KubeCon that's super visible to them tends to actually get the awards done. and also, it gives us a chance to actually get contributors who are doing amazing works names in front of leads in a way that they will pay attention to it, since they are physically there, a lot of them. Whereas if you do it online, many of the leads may not attend and may not even see the contributor awards from other parts of the community, which we would prefer to let everyone see the awards and celebrate the work that contributors are doing across the project. So there are a couple of considerations.
I mean, obviously, I see the appeal of doing it online, but I think it would be better to do it at KubeCon in person. Just me thinking, out loud kind of thing. And I say that because, like, anytime there's an award given to anybody at KubeCon, they're excited. Their friends are excited for them. people in the community are excited for them. Like Caslin, when you got the chop wood, carry water thing, that was awesome, and I was glad I was there for it. All that stuff, you know. So
Yeah. We have
that's kind of
we have the forum open, so we'll see what folks end up at. Interesting to hear that they're favoring North America so far.
And it's online is the least selected option. So the second,
I wouldn't do it online.
The second selected option is I don't care, or how we phrased it, I'm okay with any option.
Okay.
And then comes Europe, and then comes online. Anyway, I would keep it open until mid of one more week, and then make the decision. I think that's the that should be feasible. Sorry for taking up 20 minutes of this call for events. Next up is mentoring. Do we have anything? Going once, going twice, going thrice. Next
it already
up
says, it already says no updates this cycle, and we don't have any of the regular folks who do a lot of work in that area on, so makes sense to move on.
Next up is contributor communications. Is there anyone here from contributor communications?
Is there?
Perhaps. If we only knew somebody that worked in do you want to take this, Caslin? Because there's not a lot from the last agenda.
I have a few thoughts top of mind. One is KubeCon social media posts. Japan is next week. I have not started on social media posts for that, so that's going to be one of those last minute adventures that we tend to do. India, folks are interested in helping out with, and we have a bit of a longer runway, so assuming that I can get the KubeCon Japan tweets document set up, I can also get the India one set up, hopefully, and we can start asking for input on that. I've been saying it all year, and I will continue to say it because I'm not going to give up on it. We want to run a mentoring cohort on social media, helping folks to develop social media skills to hopefully grow new leads for our social media presence. And I'm not going to be able to focus on that at least until after KubeCon Japan, so I'm not worrying about that at least until July. So that's a couple of social media points on comms. Blogs are still in an awkward state where we're kind of trying to hold off on them to lessen the load on the blogging team a little bit. But if anyone is interested in becoming a blog reviewer, we would be happy to enable you and support you in developing those skills as well, though that's primarily owned by SIG Docs. And that's about the top of mind things, I think, for me on comms right now.
New contributor orientation meeting is happening next week.
Yes, it is happening next week during KubeCon Japan.
And I'll be out of town too, so that's fun.
I think I have someone who can run the Americas edition.
I could run
Mario.
both.
You could if you wanted to, but we have folks who are willing.
if we have someone, I'm happy to hand it over. But I can basically join both meetings and start recording and stuff like this.
There's also one person who was interested in helping you out with the EMEA one. I started a chat thread with them.
Which I didn't respond yet.
Yeah. Do it right now while we're talking about this.
We need to ping leads for current opportunities. I will do this first and then the other thing second. Which Slack? Kubernetes Slack.
Yeah, it's a private message. It might be difficult to find.
All the way at the bottom.
Everyone.
typing. I'm amused at how new contributor orientation has kind of become a honorary additional subproject. Subprojects of contributor comms include last week in Kubernetes development and new contributor orientation, which is really more of a mentoring thing, but we're just more active in comms.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it resides in the I think it resides in mentoring in Git. So technically, it is already mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
I put it there, so.
Yeah, a subproject with subprojects. That's always fun.
I'll just add that point into the mentoring area. And Mario, you could ping me if you're having trouble finding that thread, and I will help you find it. But I need a reminder, like a ping.
Yeah, I found it.
Cool.
You know how I found things?
How?
I just have unfinished messages in chats that I don't want to lose.
Smart.
Oh,
Then they don't disappear.
got it.
Pro tips,
Yeah.
everyone.
Life hack yourself.
Moving on to contributor documentation.
I'm good with that.
Yes.
Not that we have anyone here who would have anything to say about that anyway, but
I have one. Like, I've been contributing to the documentation pretty extensively. So doing a lot of English, and I'm also focusing on Hindi documentation. And I've been figuring out, like, there's a lot of PRs open from more than a year or two, not much movement I'm seeing there. So I know like two people were involved pretty extensively, Dipesh, Rawat, and is one more.
To quickly jump into this, I think you're talking about Kubernetes documentation. What we are talking about is contributor documentation. So contributor documentation is basically the documentation that we have for contributors on the kubernetes.dev website.
Okay, got it.
No worries.
Yeah.
SIG docs is the call to mention those things in.
So this is a Kubernetes dev documentation, correct?
Correct. Kates.dev. Kates.dev/course is the new contributor course content. We used to do new contributor workshops at KubeCons. There were a variety of issues with doing that. And so we turned it into online content that folks can do at any time. And so that's available at kates.dev/course. And there's several other bits of contributor-facing content on kates.dev.
Yeah, I've been using that website a lot. So thanks everyone here for contributing to it. It's been super helpful.
In so much as we do. There's probably no particular new updates. Those updates don't happen particularly frequently. So we can probably move on to moderation and media.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else there?
No, I don't want to open this discussion.
Yeah, there's a whole can of worms that we could open there, but we're not going to do it today.
Yay.
Yeah. I mean, the whole like
I have
.io.dev.
Oh, no, I don't want to get into that.
I have something that I need to test, which is the Google Firebase thingy thing, and I actually want to I want to give it a try to basically say like, please rebuild me the KLS.dev website and see what happens.
Wait. In Firebase?
Yeah, the Firebase thing now is basically that it will generate whole websites based on input, and I just want to see how good or how bad the outcome is.
I'm gonna go with, well, if it can actually see the website or visit the website,
yeah, it can.
Maybe it'll be great. Maybe it won't.
So I'm recording that in the notes as Kates.dev has a variety of technical issues in its implementation, which we have discussed in depth in other iterations of this meeting, and we'll try to avoid today. But Mario wants to run an experiment with running it in Firebase.
Let's see.
Okay.
Worth experimenting on.
Okay, moderation and media. Thanks for updating the Slackbot documentation.
I mean, it wasn't really updated. It was just what's there is there. It matches
was
almost perfectly
bumped.
with HackMD, what was in there, and there's not really much to add, I don't think.
Was bumped
So,
in its visibility through this work.
yes.
Thank you for doing it anyway, even if it doesn't change much.
Yeah, it's fine. I've been meaning to do it literally for probably over a year, so that's done finally.
YouTube.
Alright.
Nothing to report?
No, YouTube's good. I opened a ticket for a channel. Nabrun mentioned, hey, why not just do it in ContribEx? We're all cool with that. It's fine.
You mentioned
So,
there were
yeah.
some zaps that were failing during the last comms meeting. I don't know if you checked
Yeah,
that out.
they're very old. So if there
Okay.
are missing meetings, that could be why. And when I say old, they're like from mid-April, I think. So
Ancient.
I looked at them last week and I was like, I don't know if I should rerun these.
Okay.
So yeah.
Noted. Well, not noted, but nothing to report is noted, which is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good enough on moderation and media, I think.
Yeah.
Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I found a can of worms in my brain. I'm opening it. I hope it's night crawlers. And moderation and media, should we also include regular checks on the Google groups? One thing that we discussed in the chairs meeting yesterday is calendar shenanigans in Google groups. So the chairs meeting has had some issues because it is specifically sent to leads. It is not an open meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And an issue with that we found is we use the leads list of each SIG to send out the calendar invite. This makes sense.
Right.
We don't want to maintain a full list of all of the SIG chairs constantly. Each SIG individually does that, so we should make use of that work. However, help wanted, implement a calendar tool that works. Google Calendar.
Create a calendar tool that works and get rich.
Get rich. Or something. Google Calendar, apparently, when you are sending an invite to a list of lists, invites the list and does not invite the individuals on the list in terms of, like, if you were to accept the meeting, you would accept it on behalf of the entire SIG lead list. Yes. Which is fine from a attendance tracking perspective if we cared about that. But it's more about like what people get on their calendar. So it doesn't actually send the individuals on the list the calendar invite. It sends the list alias the calendar invite, but not the individuals the calendar invite. So lots of folks who are invited to the chairs and tech leads meeting end up creating their own copy of the meeting because they don't actually get it.
Can we just create a list with all of the lead chairs and tech leads?
We can. I think that we should look into how we can do that in an automated fashion to still make use of the SIG lead lists. So that when updates happen at the SIG lead list level, we get those updates without having to go in and manually update that large list.
I mean,
there is an alternative.
How do we add people to the leads list? To the
total leads list or the SIG leads lists?
Yeah.
The leads at kubernetes.io list is
Yes.
manually maintained and is a list of lists.
Ah, I see.
So in this case, with the nested groupings and everything, with Google Calendar, you could probably export the event as an ICS file and just share that.
Yep,
I'm not
that was one proposed
sure.
solution.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the best solution, but you can also link to it as well. So maybe just including that link in the email would help. But if it changes, I'm not sure that update flows into folks' calendars either.
We put a link to the ICS file of the meeting in the meeting. And then when you send out what we did last time to try to get everybody on board with it, because a lot of folks have been complaining that they don't have the meeting, is we removed everyone from we removed the leads list from the invite list of the meeting, saved it, added the leads list back, saved it again, and sent the email to the added attendees. So everyone did get an email from that. They didn't get the calendar invite, but they did get the email with information about the meeting. So if we put the ICS file link in the meeting description and then did that again, everyone would get it.
But no one reads the description.
But no one would read the description or use it. Yes.
I use descriptions all the time. So I take that back.
But from an email?
From an email,
basically,
no. In my calendar, yes.
I think
but
I
it doesn't
think
go
it would
to your
be,
calendar.
It would, yeah, exactly. I think it would be good if we just try to figure out if we can have a pro job that basically says, if a person gets added to a list, add them to this list where all of the email addresses of all of the chairs and tech leads are, and then we send the email inviter to this. Good that no tech lead is good that no tech lead from ContribEx currently is here.
Yeah.
We can just volunteer them.
Cheers.
So you're proposing creating an automated system to create a list of the emails within the leads list so that it is a single level instead of multiple levels.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's possible.
I think as well. I think so as well.
Would probably take less time to implement than we've spent talking about it, but
probably.
Who knows?
I like automated solutions. Those are nice.
Yeah.
You know,
all right.
So just a quick thought. Like on multiple websites I use, there's a drop down, add to calendar, and it literally has like 4 options. Maybe that is a way to look at it too, but that would require some kind of JavaScript library of some sort, I feel like, or something.
There is definitely improvement that can be made around calendar and mailing list management.
Agreed.
But it will take actual like studying,
work.
research.
Yeah. I like Mario's solution.
It'll work for now.
Yes.
Theoretically.
That's all we really need.
For now.
So
noted. We might want to add a regular recurring item to this agenda to talk about calendars and mailing lists in moderation and media.
That's probably wise.
I feel like it fits in that category. No, it's a little weird. I'm going to add it. And I think we can move on.
All right, next up is GitHub management. I think no one is here for GitHub management. I know that Nabarun is doing the or generated the cleanup thing. I think we just have to post, or he wanted to post the folks that would drop out and give them the grace period to respond, as far as I know. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. But we need to we really need to do this because I think we are lagging behind by 3 months now. And I think it's removing 800 people or something like this.
Oh, on the
Yikes.
GitHub.
On the org. Yeah.
GitHub org
Oh.
cleanup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't we have automated tools that kick people out of the
Yeah.
org?
I've never.
No, we run this once a year.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. I remember this now.
You can basically say, hey, wait, I'm an active person. So there's like a grace period before the.
Yes.
So we run the cleanup, then the list is generated, and then it basically says you can respond to this by for staying an
Yeah.
org member,
Yeah.
and then after the grace period, we basically run the script again with the exceptions removed, and then remove people. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that process. I know that process. Not well, but I'm familiar with it. I know it exists.
Next up is elections. We need. Yeah, we are steering elections are coming up. We need still 1 or 2 nominees for election officers. There will also be there was a suggestion that we do video interviews or interviews with the candidates, and yeah, and for the testing, I think that's why Ludo is here.
Yeah, pretty much. Although I think Josh said all there is to say, really. Testing has been improved. We can move on to end-to-end testing and then hopefully get to the case sensitivity. I'm not sure time-wise how the planning would look and if we can make that before people start to use Electo again. But we can try.
I guess election will be opening in August, if I'm not mistaken.
That is normally how it goes. And also, I want to call out, thank you so much, Ludo, for working on this. This has been an open item for literal years. We really appreciate your work here.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's been fun. It was my first time doing open source. I would do it again.
Yay!
We can
I like
find more
hearing
work
that.
for you.
Sure. Yeah, so that's what we're working on. I think I'm gonna ask Josh to make like a clear action plan so we can really take action on that.
Cool.
Great.
Very cool.
All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Anything else for elections? If not, going once, going twice, going thrice. Any other open topic, open discussion items? I have
The
one.
note.
Go ahead.
You have
I
one?
think this can be a quick reminder because it's something we've talked about before. Thank you so much, Ludo, for doing new contributor orientation and finding something to do from it. But we need to make sure that we're getting new contributor orientation in front of more folks because the attendance levels have dropped to near nothingness. So we need some marketing of new contributor orientation. So let's keep that top of mind. We had an idea to create an issue for each new contributor orientation, mark it as a good first issue, like good first issue, attend new contributor orientation. That's a type of contribution. So we should probably do that like now, since it's about a week before the next new contributor orientation, if we're going to try and do it.
So is the challenge to get people into the new contributor orientation, like it's happening
in the meeting,
or to get them after? Okay, yeah.
So it's at a recurring time, which is good. Like that schedule is pretty tight. automating social media is, we're doing that. We send out the same message every month though. So
But
it's
it is
probably
a flexible message that says, go check the calendar to see when the next one is. As far
Bingo.
as automated messages go. It
But
has
like,
the
here's
most
the thing,
actionable link it
we've
can.
put that out multiple months now, and it's probably just not getting picked up by algorithms, and it's
Not
only
doing
working for
anything.
like Mastodon and Blue Sky that people actually see that, not Twitter or LinkedIn or anything else. Huh.
What
Yeah.
worked was the last time when I did the handwritten note for Europe, because we had more attendees in Europe than we had in the US, and we never had more attendees in Europe than in the US. And I wrote a handwritten message for Europe.
More manual work. Talking about work.
Yeah.
Our favorite.
This is when I wish we had like a team calendar with reminders. Hey, please do X on a certain date, kind of thing. But whatever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But Mario also had an item. You want to say something, Ludo?
Yes. AI conformance.
Ludo has
Sorry.
something, Mario. Sorry.
Ludo.
Hang on.
To go back to the new contributor orientation, what I noticed when I had the idea of I want to contribute to Kubernetes, I started reading like the developer docs, which
Mhm.
I found hard to, like, there was a lot, like I couldn't see the forest through the trees. But obviously, I would say, and maybe it's in there already, but if that's where people look when they want to get started on contributing, also make it very clear that despite the ton of information, there's a gentle entry point being
Yes.
the new contributor orientation.
And we could totally
like
just
that.
put a blurb on that page. Yeah, that would be easy.
Let's talk to SIG Docs.
Yeah.
The person who was doing SIG Docs work left.
Wait, which person?
There was someone earlier who was saying they were doing documentation work when we were talking about contributor.
Oh,
They left.
yeah, that's right. Damn it.
Noted. Let's move on to Mario's point. That's just going to require actual work, the new contributor orientation stuff. So let's talk about Mario's point.
Yeah, AI uses policy. I think we agree that we want to implement it now. I got one thumbs up from Natalie from Docs, and then the whole discussion stagnated again.
Was there any objection that you know of?
No
Okay.
objection. So
Oh.
basically, I would just implement this.
Yeah. It's been sitting there for a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah, for exactly 1 year and 2 weeks.
Yikes. Okay. And all we're doing is just echoing what CNCF says. And
No. We extend. CNCF says I don't care.
oh, that's
basically.
right. Never mind. Sorry.
And we are saying like, be reasonable. We produce original content. Don't do copy paste. We are not completely banning it, but
it should not be the only thing doing the work.
Yeah. That's basically TLDR. And also the
We
also the
could
other. Yes, go ahead.
a thought on that. We could add some verbiage around we are okay with using AI as an assistant, but not using AI as the generator and primary creator of a piece of content.
That's in there. That's
Cool. Okay.
basically in this document in a
Sounds
more
good.
complicated and sophisticated way.
Yeah, we might
So
be
we
able
put a
to do a simple
TLDR on
I'll
that,
look over
maybe
it.
at the top.
Yeah.
I'll look over it and see.
Okay.
No, I won't.
So
Someone should look over it. And
would
see.
you put that in like put it in Gen Z terminology, no vibe coding? That would be clear.
No
right?
vibrating, coding, nothing.
To be clear on this, so this only reflects content for that ContribEx produces and that SIG docs produces. This does not apply to any other SIG in Kubernetes because the ruling that was set forth by the steering was every SIG on its own. So
Oh.
there's no general ruling. So basically, this is on us to decide this for our space. And there was a discussion between SIG docs and ContribEx because a blog post has been published that was completely generated. And yeah, that's long story short. Why we had this discussion started a year ago. And yeah, I will just bring the thread up and say like I'm now implementing this. As I haven't heard any objections, and any other thing can be brought up as a thing there. The other thing that came up is we write nowhere down that we don't want to have AI note takers to join meetings. Should we write it down somewhere?
Yes. Answer is yes. Probably on the calendar pages, maybe. Yeah.
Like the calendar invites themselves? That might be a good idea. At one point, I wanted to create a guideline for SIGs on like, here's how you create meeting invites, information that you should include, because I actually did a survey of different open source meetings throughout the project, and everybody writes them out slightly differently, but some of them had some really good ideas about what to include in the meeting invite itself. Adding a little statement of AI note takers are not allowed in this meeting on the meeting invite itself might be the best way that we can communicate that.
Yeah. But do people read that? My concern. We do need to state it somewhere that we can point to in the future, though. For sure.
I'm going to forget all of this in the next week.
Yay!
But we've got it in notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any other topic? I have a not recorded topic.
Infinite topics we could discuss, and I think we've discussed a lot of the most important ones.
Agreed.
Then goodbye, YouTube.